This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. Well, the Supreme Court this morning refused to review a case involving a racist voter ID law out of North Carolina, which means that the lower Fourth Circuit Court's previous decision striking down the law stands. It was only a matter of time until this mess was settled by the courts, and it says something that even a 5-4 conservative slanted Supreme Court allowed the law to be struck down as unconstitutional. The unanimous Fourth Circuit Court Appeals ruling struck down 5 portions of this Republican-passed North Carolina law. So now, there's no requirement for photo ID. Early voting is back to 17 days rather than the more restrictive 10. Same-day registration and pre-registration for some teenagers has also returned to the state, and the ban on counting votes cast in the wrong precinct has also been overturned. The court found that all 5 of those restrictions had been deliberately baked into the law, disproportionately affecting African American voters. You see, the Republican-dominated North Carolina legislature was so exacting in their racism that they skillfully chose which forms of IDs and which forms of voting were most likely to be used by whites and blacks, and then structured their hate legislation accordingly. They required a list of approved photo IDs for in-person voting, but completely exempted absentee voting from the photo ID requirements. The court determined that the law's voter ID provision kept only those types of photo IDs on the approved list which were disproportionately used by whites, and banned those IDs which were disproportionately used by African Americans. In other words, North Carolina Republicans are calculating in their state-sponsored racism. Now, to give you an example, the court saw that the state had failed to identify even a single individual who had ever been charged with committing in-person voter fraud in North Carolina, but did find that there were evidence of fraud in cases of mailed-in absentee ballot voting, which is a method used disproportionately by white people in North Carolina. So, while we can chalk this one up in the win column for us, there's still a lot of work to be done. Each and every American who cherishes our way of life and democratic system needs to vocally support making it easier to vote, not create a bunch of hoops to jump through. We need to encourage every eligible voter to get out there and take part in the process. Look, I'll leave you with some simple questions. What does it say about the Republican Party that they are systematically crafting legislation which targets and oppresses Black Americans with surgical precision? Are they pro-voter? Are they pro-democracy? Are they even pro-America? Hey everybody, thank you so much for checking out my channel and this video. If you like what I do here and you appreciate it, go ahead and click subscribe. And if you really like it and appreciate what I do and you'd like to join my Patreon family, there's another link there for that. It's not just for the podcast, it's also for YouTube. Thanks a lot.